So why is the war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all leave, gotta learn to live together. Peace, alright. Isn't it time, brother, stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all bleed, gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace, alright. Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is the war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all leave, gotta learn to live together. Peace, peace, alright. Isn't it time, brother, stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all bleed, gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace, alright. Peace, together. How's everyone doing out there today? Thank you for joining my show, Between Two Worlds. It's Psychic Mediumship Night. Plus, I'm going to give you guys some really interesting updates what's going on across this world. I'm sure you guys have been curious of what's going on. And, well, I noticed the energy is getting a little bit lighter. not as heavy as it used to be. I know some of you folks out there are believing or thinking that, this is it, what's going to happen next. Well, you have to understand one thing, folks. Like we're dealing with this big C, right? Or the C19, and everyone's still fighting against it. And a lot of people don't want to get the shot in the arm and that sort of thing. Well, like I said, I tell people don't do it, because that shot in the arm is going to get you sicker than a dog, so to speak. And you're going to get worse, because that is always going to know, always being known as an experimental drug. Okay, it was never known to be a CURE. Okay, so that's what it is, folks. I'm telling you, it's not what you think it is. A lot of times we have to use these words, so to speak, because all these companies, these social network camera companies, are trying to make sure that you don't say anything about it, that you're not supposed to go against it. Well, number one, Mr. Fauci, Mr. GATES are done. They're gone. They're out of the way. Okay. Crimes against humanity is going to happen. They're being taken care of right now as we speak. You may see some stories. My hair is spinning around from the wind. You may start seeing some stories on the MSM, and don't let it get to you. Don't even believe everything you see on the TV, okay? Because your TV is the manipulative dark state, deep state, okay? They're the ones that are not telling you exactly what's be true. I mean, that's how it works. So, sure, it's wonderful to watch, comedy shows or other types of programs, but don't get caught up in the news. Honest to God, don't do that, because you'll believe things that don't mean anything that relates to this C19. I'm telling you, folks, you're going to get so caught up in it, because they're still making it regimental. In fact, I am thoroughly disgusted with my own radio station that I once worked out of. That's why I'm angry. I'm going to drink some water real quick here. I'm not going to name names as far as who the people are saying it, but there's a station I once worked at many years ago. But the station right now is called 1410 C-Fun. Oh, no, sorry, not 1410. Sorry, take it back. Take it back. No. I have so much to write down. Z95.3 FM in Vancouver here. Okay. Now, I know a great recording DJ is great working there. I love the guy. I always have for years. But it's not his fault. But they have to play what they announce. What they did, what they've been doing this last couple of weeks, is they have been using children to be the speakers to lure other children to get them to take the vax, the shot in the arm, on radio. Okay, this is for the child to lure another child that they make him believe that it's safe to get the shot in the arm. That is so wrong under the CRTC rule. I'm telling you, it's so wrong. Under the Canadian Charter, it's so illegal. Right? Also, under the Canadian ethics, they can't do this. It is gone so bad. Because, see, that's what Mr. Gates had said on the third wave. He said on the video, and he just sat there and looked at the camera straight, and he said, "I'm coming for your children." And it was about the vax. And he's doing it because he said he wants to depopulate the children. Because to him, they're useless in this world. And people are falling for it. I'm totally, absolutely disgusted. Now, as a grandparent, I would never, ever give any of my grandkids that. None. Ever. And I'm telling you folks not to do that either. Now, I will let you know this. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to my, I can't say the shout out. I lost a really good friend in the hospital. She died 2 days ago. And they labeled it as COVID, which I know it wasn't. Okay. She had lung conditions, but because it was the indication of what it's supposed to be. But they didn't follow, like I told her, follow my regimental way and you will get better. Follow me. And I worked with this girl since 2005. Okay, she became a minister of a church, an Anglican. She was a darn good reverend. She worked real hard to get in her position. She's First Nations. Her name is Vivian Seegers. Good friend of mine for many years. We worked together in our Indigenous community. I worked for an organization called Métis Family Services, and I was actually one of the counselors there as well. We lost her 2 days ago. What they did, and I told her, don't let them put you on a ventilator and don't let them put you in a comatose state. They did. Both. 2 days she left us. Now, what's heart-wrenching even more, I have a client that called me up to get a reading. And she wanted to make contact with her husband. Okay. Her husband passed away. And supposedly he passed away in the hospital but he was actually wheelchair bound. Okay. He never got the big C, but they treated it like a C. He had apparently asthma, a lot of bronchial asthma issues, but they treated him like a C. And they were giving him the same conditions as you would do a C19 patient. Why? He never had it. They even proved on his record, on his medical record, that it never had it, but they gave it to him anyways. They put him in a ventilator. They put him on a forced COVID state. Why? He had pneumonia. The bloody guy only had pneumonia, common pneumonia. Even the doctor said he had pneumonia, but he switched. This doctor changed his shift. Another doctor came in and said, oh no, he's got this. He's got the COVID. They put him on a ventilator and then he died. Okay. Within 24 hours, he died. Here's the worst part. That wasn't the worst part. The worst part is this. When they took him to the morgue, they lost his body. There were over 20 patients that had passed away, but from different conditions. The hospital, this is the Sir Memorial Hospital. It's so screwed up because everyone's so wired about and feared of this big C. They didn't want to come anywhere near the bodies even after they died because they're believing that it carries on to the next person if you're alive. It's dead cells. So what they do, they immediately actually, instead of waiting for the family to consent to either burial or to cremate, they don't wait for consent. They take all the bodies away down to a crematorium and burn them all. And after the crematorium, then they send her husband's ashes. So she thought. They delivered the wrong box of her husband's ashes. It was in Punjabi. Oh, no, this is the right place. They delivered another box to a Punjabi family. They were Russian in his Russian name. Wrong family. They never did know each other, right? None whatsoever. They've already done the services. They didn't even realize that the husband or the husbands were not in the proper boxes. Even their toe tags got switched around. That's how crazy it was. Out of 20, 3 got mixed up. Okay? Really? Then worse comes to worse. Instead of the hospital fixing it or the morgue fixing it or the crematorium people, instead of them fixing the problem, they just said, well, we can't fix it. It's not our fault. You're going to have to find some of the means and ways to take care of the ashes. We're not responsible for them after you receive them. They won't take them back because they believe that now the box has the big C19 in it. This reminds me going to McDonald's. You go down there, you order your lunch, they hand you your coffee by rubber glove, and they're in their mask. They hand you the coffee when you're going drive. They won't let you into the restaurant, but just drive through. But you have to wear a mask. They won't serve you unless you don't wear a mask. But even though they got all this plastic on their shield, and there's a tiny hand hole that hands you they have this little clamp to hand you the coffee. I'm serious, folks. It looks like a little cup clamp, and it's a stick, and they hand it to you, and your coffee comes in that. And then your food is clamped out to you. If you didn't get the right food, you're not supposed to give it back. They won't even make you the new one. You have to pay for the second one, even if they mismatch your food. Does that make any sense? Because when I returned my coffee back, I said, this is not my coffee. This is black. I have mine as two milks. That's it. They wouldn't take it back or even give me the 2 milks to put in. Even I said, well, here, I'll hold the coffee. You pour the milk in there. No, can't do that. They couldn't even pass the barrier. Like, it's a barrier. Like, it's a sweat shield. It's a bulletproof plastic sheet. It's that freaking thick. Bulletproof. I wonder how many people actually carry guns and they don't get their food right. That's why they had to have a bulletproof shield. Oh yeah, I'll get you. You didn't give me my burger. Oh, this is getting to be crazy. I'm serious, folks. This is crazy. They had to put up a bulletproof shield to make sure. And again, it's a cup holder handing out your coffee, and that's a tray thing, and that they won't pass your food by hand. It's not in the back. Like it's that's the way it is. It's clamped out to you. McDonald's. No wonder they have those words in their little song. You deserve a break today, so get up and get away. Don't go back to McDonald's. Oh, really? You got to stand 6 feet apart, right? But they can't. They won't take your food back. That's not yours. If they screw it up, that's their problem. But then they'll make you pay for it. No, you got to pay for it now, even though they screwed up. No. So I just drove off. I said, I'm not doing that. Forget it. I'll go somewhere else. This is McDonald's. I wonder how many folks like you out there have the same or had the same problem. You ever going to a drive-thru and they're telling you got to wear a mask to receive your 6-foot distant food or your coffee in your car? Really? In your car? Now, I can understand if you're walking in the restaurant, you're up close to the person, you're not wearing a mask. But again, if you're mask exempt, they can't refuse you. They're not supposed to refuse you. It's under you, your U.S. and Canadian government. Your Canadian government, we're under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We have the right to be served. But what they do now is they treat you like an Ebola victim, and they send you outdoors to serve you. Everyone else can walk in with masks on, but you can't be served because you wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. So you got to be served outside, even though you say, well, I want to get this, that, well, you're going to have to wait. They have no respect for you. Even if you are mask exempt, they have no respect for you, none whatsoever. You're considered as an Ebola victim. Oh, you're apparently, according to them, you're worse than anybody else. Still happening right now to this day. Right? I've been into a couple of places that even the manager goes nuts on you. Like literally, they'll yell and scream. Get out of here! Like just making a scene. I think they do this on purpose. They just love to do this on purpose to get attention, to make people, and they'll say, you're yelling at me. I didn't say a word. I'm just saying, under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, I have the right to be here. Just normal voice like me. You're attacking me! Like, no, I didn't say a word. So this is what they do. They are trained now to speak out loud, to yell, to make us, the public in your surroundings, to believe them that I or anyone else who's maskless, that we are the terrorist or we're the bad guy. We're not. We're more calmer than everybody else because we have our freedom. I'm not wearing no diaper in my face. Forget it. I had enough to deal with enough diapers when I was young, when I was young, or having to deal when I was changing my kids, and even that was a different smell. I do know that we do have a lot of new types of, I guess you say, what do you call them? Because I don't put them on my mirrors anymore. But you hang them on your mirror. You know, they smell up those pine tree scents. They hang them on your mirror, right? Well, just hang up. You know, you've been wearing that mask so long, you hang it on the mirror, and all that fresh air you put in there into that mask, and everybody gets to smell that too. And that's for your mirror. I see that all the time. People driving by go like, "Oh, odor eaters." Okay. Oh boy. So a lot of things are happening, like I said before, and I know everybody's curious in the chat room. Thank you guys for joining me in the YouTube chat room. I'm not on Facebook yet. Next week I should be, because they gave me 4 days grace, or 4 days to go. So I'm glad. Apparently the way I added up all the time in there, I think they gave me 30 days. They were cutting. They were actually calling me up. They were actually sending me more messages saying, "Oh no, we're going to give you more days. We're going to give you more days. We found this. We found this. We found this." What they're doing now is they're looking at your old stuff that you've done 6 months or 8 months or a year ago, and if it's still there, then they'll just put you back in jail. They'll put you right back into FB jail, Facebook jail, and I think that's dumb. They're looking for everything they can to make sure that they can scare you and to intimidate you. I couldn't care less. You know, I've got so many great friends out there that are helping me promote what I ever need to do from my pages, and I got family that does it for me too. So, you know, there are many other new search engines, or not search, sorry, more social networks that are starting up. That are going to be way better than FB. I mean, FB's been around for a lot of years, yes, but they're going to be way better after, because you won't need them. Because I've been informed that, you know, if FB goes down, it goes down permanently. We shall see. Because Mr. Zuck is going to be taken care of, right? There's going to be some people taken away, court, you name it, Has to be done. That's just the way it is. I can only say so much right now because they. I can only say so much right now. That's all I can say. But it's getting that close. We're in the month of June. The month of June is the pickup. The month of June is picking people up as in full, I guess say, as of this month, there'll be U.S. military to hold military tribunals in Tierra del Fuego. And yeah, a lot of cleanups. And there's going to be a lot of people leaving this world. And some will be making deals and they're going to be taken away for life. And it's not just politicians, folks. There's a lot of people that are going to learn their lesson. Now, another person who I like to talk about tonight, you guys, some of you may not like him or you like him. And his name is Kevin J. Johnston. Now, I find this very unfair. You can may like him or not. But the fact is, Kevin J. Johnston lives in Calgary. He's originally from Ontario, and he's a very respectful man. He tries to do as much as he can to help the people with the rights of freedoms. And Kevin J. Johnston also applied to become the new mayor of Calgary in Alberta. But because Mr. Jason Kenney, who is the premier of Alberta, who has a nasty hate for him, as well as the mayor of Calgary, has a nasty hate for Kenney, and as well as the Alberta Health Association or Alberta Health, whatever you are, HCHS, they have a major hate for Kevin. Why? Because they kept on constantly arresting or giving Kevin tickets. And Kevin says, everything you're giving me here is illegal. And he's right. And Kevin got tired of them basically harassing him and physically harassing him and illegally arresting him without no charge, like no physical real charge. And they kept on taking him to jail. So apparently he was at an event in Edmonton, and I guess Jason Kenney decided to put a warrant out for his arrest and saying that he's arrested for, well, I won't say because I'll probably other people know, but they're arresting him. So right now, oh yeah, it's supposed to, he's apparently supposed to be threatening, he threatened people's lives. Right? They were saying that Kevin's supposed to threaten people's lives. Kevin never would threaten anyone's life physically. Kevin would never raise it. I mean, because Kevin knows he's got. Let me explain something to you folks. Kevin is a trained boxer. He was a professional boxer before he got into politics. Okay, once you're registered as a boxer, professional boxer, you cannot hit anyone automatically if you don't like them. You can defend yourself, but you cannot strike anyone. You have to learn to control your temper. And this is why Kevin J. Johnston actually is a very passive man. He's outspoken. He's not a racist. Okay. I've had people say, oh, he's nothing but a racist. No, he's not. That's what Jason Kenney said he was a racist. If Kevin J. Johnston was a racist, then why are all of his friends are every race that he knows, right? The crazy part of it is he thinks that he's a racist to Indigenous people. That person who owns that website is Derrick Story. Derrick Story is Métis like me. Derrick Story is the one that owns that website, not Kevin J. Johnston. All the wording that's done with an Indigenous name to it, that's not Kevin J. Johnston's website. That's Derrick Story's page. He's the one that made all that because of his own background, Indigenous background. So everybody's believing, this garbage. They're thinking that Kevin J. Johnston's evil. No, he's not. He's the good guy. That's why he's becoming the mayor of Calgary. He's trying to give you back your freedom. He's trying to help you give you back your rights to take the masks off your face and stop the 6 feet apart. Because I'll tell you right now, folks, everybody in the States, mostly the States, all over the States, they're all going to all gatherings and football games and baseball games, concerts, you name it. They're all in there now. Hardly anybody's wearing a mask. And if they are wearing the mask because they're still doubting that they have to no longer wear a mask. They're still worried, thinking they're going to get the big C. They're not. It's done. Absolutely done. But you got a stupid pretend to be Biden, believing that he is the man to say, well, we all have to carry on wearing masks. You guys are falling for his garbage, because that's not the real Biden anyways. The real Biden's been gone for a year and a half. This is an actor under a mask. Don't fall for it. The real Prez is still around. This real Prez has also come to Canada, and he's helping us now. Him and a special forces group are here right now as we speak. They've been here since January. You'll notice there's a lot of high fences around every parliament and all through Canada. High fences. Gee, I wonder why are all the fences around all the parliament buildings? What do they do in DC? For the 4 months that that fence was up, they were underground rescuing all the kids. All those kids that were down there for 50, 60 years. They found lots of people down there. Trump had no idea what was going on until he came in there, and they said that the military code, special military forces told him and said, you got to see this. And he made it his quest to rescue all these kids. There is over 3 million children all across the world that were rescued. And he's still rescuing them now to this day. He's in our country now, underground. And I know that we do have underground tunnels in Winnipeg. Oh, I knew that a long time ago, because the Freemasons actually built these parliament buildings, especially the one in Winnipeg where the Golden Boy is. And there are underground tunnels there. Okay. I'm not going to take calls yet, guys. Hang on. So there are underground tunnels still there, and that's why the high fence is there. Okay. So the thing is that, and there are some people out there that don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They're saying, Derrick, you don't want to talk about your conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory. I've got my contacts, folks, and I know it's for real. Okay, I already know. I've been around this for over a year. I mean, involved in this for over a year. Well, now, year and a half. And I pretty well know exactly what's going on. And mind you, I could be out there protesting on the streets and be out there publicly, and picket. But what can I say if I'm on the picket? I can walk with you guys, wonderful. But my wife, if she wasn't dealing with her cancer, I would be out there like every one of you. I'd be traveling all across Canada like every one of you. And I'd be out there being outspoken as well. And most likely I'd be behind bars, fighting for your rights. Because I'm not afraid of that. Because I know what it's like to be in prison. Been there when I was in my younger years. Something that was falsified, then I ended up behind bars and I did time for it. But I actually, when they found out later that it wasn't me that was there, they locked up my records. And they just, Derrick, it's not yours. They took care of it. But I know what it's like to be there. So anybody that says they're going to, scare me and say you're going to jail, been there. I already know what it's like. But the only thing that really gets me for Kevin J. Johnson, they put him in a what you call 23.5-hour lockup. That is where PCs go, protective custody. Kevin J. Johnson would never go to PC. He would go where everyone else is because he knows he's a fighter and he would stand up for no crap. But they put him in there, and he's been there for a long time now, and he's been there for over a week. Anybody's been put into PC that's illegal. Totally illegal. See, the thing is that the Premier Kenny does not want Kevin to be the next mayor of Calgary. Because Kevin said, I'm going after you, Kenny. I'm going after the other mayor because they're doing everything illegal. He's going after the police force. He's actually going after AHA, the Alberta Health Organization. Yeah. He's going after them, all of them. He's actually going to sue every one of them. And he will win his case. And that's what they're afraid of. They're all afraid they're all going to lose their jobs. Some of them are going to actually be afraid of going to jail. It's for real, folks. This is real. Why do you think, like you said, Kevin J. Kevin is working so hard to help you guys give you your freedom in Calgary, in Alberta. That's what he's trying to do. And you guys want to go out on him and attack him and go out and say you don't know what you're talking about? Right? Now, where all the kids go, they're all in protective custody right now. They're all being taken care of in hospitals because these kids have been there for months, even years. Okay, some in the chat room are actually, Dolores saying, where all the kids go? Well, they're putting them in a recovery area where they all get taken care of in hospitals, special hospitals, and until they're able to be returned back to their family. A lot of these kids are actually psychologically analyzed. Some were sacrificed as for under satanic rituals. Some are, like, I'm telling you, it's worse than you think it is. I've seen some of the videos that I was sent. Real, authentic, undercover videos of what went on down below. You don't want to see them. It'll make your stomach sick. It's scary as all hell. And I will use that word hell. And I'm telling you, those containers that were taken out, like, for example, anytime you get shipment containers, remember that last one that happened, that one got stuck. Remember? They found over 10,000 children in those containers heading out to China. The military came in, special forces came in to rescue those kids. Just hang on, guys. I'll be talking to you guys on top of the hour, which is another 20 more minutes. But this is what I'm trying to point out, okay? It's very important. You guys need to know this. So I'm told here, and this is actually from Gene Decode, because everybody most of you may not know him, but Gene actually works with the Special Forces. And he's been sharing this information for over a year now, almost every show, every time he's been interviewed. But he's trying to say he wants to wake up the people in Canada because he actually had stated just recently, and as well, this woman now is a leader of our country. She's now the new leader of the Canada's First Party in Canada. Okay. She's under it's called the New Republic of Canada. We're no longer called Canada at the moment. We're called under the New Republic. We're not under any corporation. The New Republic of Canada. She's going to be the next leader, but temporarily until everything gets back into perspective. Because right now, they cannot afford to have any other leaders or anybody else that wants to take the role as a leader, because they all have to be checked out thoroughly first. No more corporate takeovers, no more deep states. I mean, they're done. They want to take care of our country and help us take our country back as human beings. The same thing happened in the States. That's been cleaned up a lot now. It's almost done there. Here in Canada, they're doing this all across the world. So they're focusing on us. I'm in British Columbia, so it's not as bad because we already had our lockdown months ago, or earlier months. They had that taken care of. Now, the lady I'm actually told you in my last show, her name is Romana Didulo. Now, what I understand, Some people say, oh, she's nothing but Filipino. She's not a Canadian citizen. Yes, she is a Canadian citizen. She is from here. She had a company here. She ran a business. There is a bio on her. Somebody's trying to start up some crap saying that she never did, and she actually was a bad person, and she tanked the business and that sort of thing. No, she stepped down from it. Okay. Now, I'm not taking calls right now. Wait, guys. 20 minutes. So what's happened is Romana actually is the new leader of our country. Not Trudeau. Trudeau is gone. He's finished. So is Ford. Both of them are being taken away eventually. Trudeau is already gone. But what you guys are seeing on TV now is not even in Parliament, so to speak. You're not getting the real Trudeau. Because the real Trudeau actually was taken away back in 2019, July the 19th. He's actually already in Gitmo. He's gone. This is another actor. This one here has got scars on his chin. That's why he wore a beard all of a sudden. If you remember the last time that Trudeau was there and suddenly was taken away, the next day or two or week later, in comes this other Trudeau who already had a full beard and gap between his teeth, and his ears are different. And acted differently, but he's actually an actor that's playing this Trudeau. He learned a lot about him because the Rothschilds brought him in. He's still deep state. He's still a bad guy. He's still playing his role. You guys are falling for this, so be careful. Okay, he's only playing yeah, that's right, Keith. She's this woman here. She's playing an interim leader until it's time. But she wants to find out from all of our people here in Canada what we really want. Do we want a free country, or do you want to be led as sheep again and be told what to do? Because when I have a website here called True North Strong and Free on Facebook, and as well as I have it I'm on Telegram, it's called True North Strong and Free. You'll see things that I'm actually involved with, and I get information from special people that are telling me the truth. And I share it because they're asking us to share it, not to keep it quiet, but us to see it, all of us. Everyone has to know the truth, what really is going on in this country. That's why I feel so safe now than I did over a year ago, well over a year ago. I could say more things now than I couldn't, because before I had to keep my mouth shut, because if I was thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen to my family? But those people, most of them are gone. The deep state people, they're gone. Everybody kept talking about the Freemasons, and they're okay. No, they're not. One of the apartment building in Winnipeg, you'll know, as I mentioned before last week when I said that Parliament building, because I've been in that building since I was 10 years old. I used to go in there all the time through the years in Winnipeg. Because I was. So, anyways, being in there. The reason why I was in there, because I wanted to see the Queen's crown and her scepter. That's the only reason why I was going, because I wanted to see what's so special about this person. But later on through the years, and I went back there to see if it was still there. It wasn't there anymore. It's gone. And the people in there had no idea that it was actually ever in that building. But one thing about that building, that it actually still belongs to the Freemasons, or did. Because every time you walk in there, has every symbolic meaning when you walk into that building. Everything symbolic that relates to Freemasonry. But it's also part of satanic stuff. It's not good. It's worse than you think. But there's one room up there in the building that even the Prime Minister, no matter if it was Harper or Trudeau or anybody else before them, was never ever allowed in that room. And those Prime Ministers or any leaders of Canada were never allowed in that room. No matter how powerful you think you are. Not even the RCMP could ever walk in that room. Because the Freemasons had more power over the RCMP. Did you know that? Just like when, for example, when man landed on the moon, okay, all of man, like when you remember the years back in the 1960s when the first man supposed to land on the moon was supposed to be the American flag. It was not the American flag. The first flag that was put into the ground on that moon was a Freemason flag. It was. A Freemason flag was on the moon first, before the American flag. Bet you didn't know that. Half those guys that went on the moon were all Freemasons, those astronauts. Why would they be putting I mean, you don't represent a country, but why would they put a Freemasonry flag on the moon? Because they believe once that flag is planted, there's a law. Once you plant a stake in the ground, it's your territory. And they believed the moon was theirs. Yeah. Catherine says, I would love to investigate the leg in Winnipeg and the two Masonic temples here. One building they've been trying to lease out for years and nothing. There's even banks that have underground tunnels too, by the way. Oh yeah, there's like everything and anything that all through, whether it's a bank, judges' chambers, like a courthouse, all to do with the apartment building. It's very haunted. And the reason why our that one province or Winnipeg is so haunted because there's so many sacrifices, so many deaths. Because number one, it was the largest prostitution ring in Canada. Way back in the mid 1700s, it's originally was colonized back in 1650. So many women died there. Okay, given their life and their life career back then was just that's the way it was, right? So, anyways, like mentioned before, the lady who's playing this role right now in our country, her name is Romana Didulo. You can actually look it up, and she's got a page on Facebook. She's got a page on. She's got a website. You'll see a picture of her. She's not Filipino, not all Filipino. She's part Japanese as well. Okay, because she had parents, and both her parents are not the same. They're not both Filipinos. Okay. She took her mother's name, not her father's. That's why you see the word Didulo. Because her father died before she was young. She was actually an orphan. Both her parents died, so she became an orphan. So she had to basically create who she is in her own identity. She succeeded in this world, but basically what happened is that Trump, as well as the military, chose her to start up and she's called the founder and leader of Canada, the First Republic Party of Canada. Okay, it's for real. JFK Jr. passes this. He says yes, she does exist. All the special forces say that she does. All the generals, you name anybody who's involved in the special forces, they all relate to yes, she is. That she's confirmed that she was chosen to take care of our country. And I'll tell you why. She's choosing Victoria, British Columbia as the new capital of Canada. So Ottawa will no longer be the capital. Okay, she's choosing that. The capital of Canada, she calls the capital of Canada 2.0. From the beginning, when she was asked by the Federation Alliance Commander-in-Chief where she would like the capital to propose. So she's choosing Victoria, British Columbia, because it's the most cleanest area in Canada. There are some underground tunnels on Vancouver Island, but you may think they don't, but there was, folks. There was actually underground tunnels under Victoria. I guess I've got somebody racing in the streets. Also, one of her proposals that she wants to do is give all of us, I'm sure you're going to vote for her for sure, because she'll say this to you, 0 income tax. That means that we don't pay taxes anymore. Okay? No more taxes. We're done. We don't have to pay taxes because that was under the Royal Crown. So, but what now I'm sure a lot of you people have been noticing that you got stories all across Canada, knowing that up in Kamloops, not too far from where I live, 3 hours away. But Kamloops actually had 215 First Nations kids and children found found in burial ground, or not an unknown burial ground, but actually underground. They found all their bodies from the residential school. And just a minute, guys. About 10 more minutes. So they found the bodies. Now, even though I say to people, gee, all of a sudden they found the bodies, I wonder who found them. Exposure. I wonder who did it. Special Forces? Check it out, folks. The Special Forces are actually doing their darndest to help you guys. And nobody's paying attention. Everyone has complained for years and years and years about residential schools. I was part of that myself. Okay, I went back in 2008. I was part of the Truth and Reconciliation. I represent the Métis there. I was at the River Crew Resort in Calgary. There's over 250 of us from all across Canada. And we all mentioned this is all part of the residential schools. We're all survivors. And we're all talking about what's Canada going to do for us to fix this. Prime Minister Harper, when he was Prime Minister time, said he'll give us $8.4 million to help fix it, plus healing programs wherever available. He took all that away after he did his term and used it in the military. What was left, he put it into the military. So it never stayed with us. And did he really care? No. He actually ordered that the files, the Truth and Reconciliation files, to be burned after he left, or before he left. He ordered them to be burned, as well as the missing women and children files as well. He ordered them to be burned. But because Trudeau got voted in, and those files were sitting on top of a filing cabinet, never got filed to be burned, they just sat on top of the cabinet, and someone just found them and didn't put them in the cabinet. They took them off, put back into the file. Gee, I wonder who somehow influenced that to say, put it back in the file. That's what Spirit does. There are people from the other side. They're going to try to prevent these children not to be forgotten. And these kids are not going to be forgotten. It's the reason why myself as a Métis person, we were always called the forgotten people, because we were the half-breeds. We're called the forgotten people. Because no one wanted to associate with us because we're half and half. So we had to create our own society or our own group. That's how we were. Right? So now, I just recently found out, a couple of days ago, they found 80 more grave sites in Saskatchewan of Native kids. Their little children's bodies are found. All of a sudden, all these residential schools, and there's well over 200 or 300 of them across Canada, they're going to check every location. And I'll tell you how they can do that. And they should have been doing that a long time ago, but there's a special machine that they have, looks like a lawnmower. And they go over it back and forth like a lawnmower, and it picks up all of the markers of what looks like down below. So this is an X-ray machine. And they'll tell you exactly what's down there. That's how they're able to find them. They're proving to the people in the public in the world that no longer will these children ever be forgotten. And this is happening right now as we speak. So if you think that Trump is the bad guy, he's the one that's going out there and rescuing every child across the world. He's putting his life on the line, his family's life on the line, to help every one of you. I didn't care for the guy at first, a long time ago, because everybody trying to convince us people, oh no, he's the bad guy, he's a racist, he's this and this. They twisted all that around to make you believe not to like him. But when I started sitting back and looking at him a little more thoroughly, and like, wait a minute here, he's not saying these things. Okay, someone else is. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're talking. That's what people do. They want to have you believe. The MSM's wanting to make you believe that he's the bad guy. He's not, because the MSM is actually the ones getting paid to say all these bad things. So it's important that you guys need to know this. So, anyways. So keep an eye out for the new founder and leader of Canada, the First Republic part of Canada, and that's her name. Okay. It's called the first, and first is number 1 of the ST. So she did say the criminals and the corrupt are singing like canaries. They have 2 choices: corporate, possibly get the top of the bunk bed, or she calls it lead in the forehead. Okay. And she also stated too that the real Pope Francis and 31 cardinals were all executed. The Vatican was the children's sex trafficking ringmaster. So even though a lot of our indigenous people are expecting an apology from the Pope is not even here, folks. They've been executed over a year and a half ago. So there's going to be another rep that will come forward and even they'll say, oh, Trudeau apologized. Trudeau never did apologize because the real Trudeau was not even alive. The real Trudeau, he never would have said a word because he didn't care if he lived or died because he was part of it too. There's one more thing I want to say here regarding her. I went to touch it and then someone actually hit the button and went, no! Where do we go here? It moved so fast I lost it all. Wow. Oh, that's not what I wanted. How in the heck did that get skipped over? Okay. Here's what I want to tell you guys right now. Now, she calls herself Queen Lady Romano Didulo. And the reason why she calls herself Queen Lady, because her family were of royalty. Where she's from originally has royalty in her family. So she's not, but she's electively using it, but she's not British royalty. She has royalty from her side of the family. Okay. To the attention of the Prime Minister, Canada, Deputy Prime Minister, Health Officers, PHAC, CDC, Provincial Territorial Premiers, Provincial Health Ministers, Health Officers, Armed Forces of Canada, the Chief of Police, RCMP, mayors, doctors, nurses, and pharmacists. The Commander-in-Chief of the United States of Armed Forces, the Commander-in-Chief of Federal Command Forces and Allied Forces. You guys need to know this, okay? And she's writing in here a cease and desist order. Dear sirs, I, Romana Dulo, head of the state and commander-in-chief, head of government of Canada, Queen of Canada, bring you to your immediate attention and order you to cease and desist all the genocide and crimes against humanity under natural law, common law, treaty law, Articles 6 and 7 of the International Crime Court Statute, the Nuremberg Code, the Geneva Convention, the United Nations Convention, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples in your jurisdiction. And it says, all COVID-19, coronavirus 19 vaccinations and experimentation, genetic warfare across Canada, all PCR testing across Canada, all masking private and public spaces, all transportations across Canada, all lockdowns across Canada, all quarantines across Canada, all closures of province and territorial across Canada, all closures of international borders. Okay. This will serve you your lawful notice to cease and desist and all further action described above and effective immediately. Furthermore, I declare all of Canada open upon declaration of this order, including all borders between the United States and Canada. Special notes: Joe Biden is not president of the United States, and the U.S. Armed Forces has been in control since January the 14th, 2021. An email from the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Armed Forces has been sent to the Armed Forces of Canada last night, acknowledging and confirming my authority as head of state and Commander-in-Chief, head of government of Canada, and the Queen of Canada. Govern yourselves accordingly. Signed and sealed, HRH, Queen Lady Romana Didulo, head of state and commander-in-chief, head of government in Canada, Queen of Canada. And then basically she shows you what she's doing. Okay, now you guys need to know that. I wanted to share that with you because I find it's very important. Okay, so I'm not sure who that person was that keeps calling me all the time, but they're sure insistent wanting to get a hold of me. So let's see what happens if they want to call back. Now, our lines are open now, folks. If you guys want to call in for a reading, or if you have any questions you want to ask, please feel free to call me, 360-566-2875. Love to hear from you, and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay, so I'll put the number in here. There we go. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, 360-566-2875. If you guys want to call in for a reading, I'd love to hear from you. There have been a lot of great people out there that have been doing service from all over the, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, you name it, and a lot of great service of sharing what's going on across our country, whether it's the United States or Canada, or across the world. And, we are trying our darndest. All of us are trying our darndest to help all of you out there. And I love, one thing I was told that she had stated that the leader of Canada for so far, she actually basically made a statement, that is that because she's calling a person like myself a digital warrior, or one who likes to inform the public what's going on. That's just, I really love it when they give this, they thanking you for the support, because for we are doing our darndest to trying to help you folks as well, to say, we need our freedom and we need to deal with justice. So that's what's happening. My hair's flying around because the window's open over here and I got a fan down below my table. I'm getting cooled off. Nice day today. Okay. Area code 306.
Derrick, I wasn't the one that was calling, but since I was waiting for him to call, I decided I'd get my 2 cents in.
Okay.
Okay. First of all,
number one, before you get 2 cents in, it has to be 5 cents now, because the pennies are not counting in Canada.
Oh, well, I still use them. Anyway, they're still legal tender, Anyway, I just want to say this. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. I have decided to go ahead and get the bus.
Okay, good. Yep.
I have decided that it's near Steinbach, so I'm going to take the train to Winnipeg. The guy's going to pick me up, drive me down. I got to get all my ducks in a row, but this is going to happen next week. Then I'll drive it back, you. Get it safety, and so on and so forth. Okay?
Yep. No, that means that if the bus is from Steinbach or the area, that's the quality of the vehicles there are much more taken care of compared to BC, because we have more moisture in the air there. There's not as much moisture, so those vehicles will last longer.
Well, I remember they wouldn't use salt on the road in the winter in Manitoba.
Yeah.
Because at 40, 50 below, 55 below,
yeah,
the salt didn't do anything.
No.
So when you got cold in Winnipeg, she was cold.
Oh, I remember back in the 60s. Oh, your snowbanks are higher than you believe.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, and Alberta.
Yeah, we had snowbanks as high as the telephone poles.
Oh yeah.
That's Winnipeg.
Yeah. And if you took a week outside, you were stuck there till spring.
Yes. Yeah. And you had to dig yourself out of your front door.
Know what I'm talking about. But anyway,
yeah.
Next thing I want to know is my grandfather, the one who I put the gravestone on.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He's doing good. He's going with you on the bus.
Is he?
Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yes. Yeah.
Is he going to bring along my old man?
Yeah, he's going to tell you what to do. Basically, he's going to be the passenger.
Oh, yeah. My old man was terrible when he was teaching me to drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You weren't playing. Yeah. See, in Manitoba and Alberta, you have to learn defensive driving, but your dad was teaching you offensive driving.
Well, I learned how to drive in Ontario.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you. Okay, and there's one more thing I'm going to let you know.
Yeah.
I can get my Algonquin papers.
Why not? Go get them. Yeah.
I could become status First Nations, but they have to vote on it. So
not entirely. No, you don't have to. You can actually just go down there and talk to the chiefs and council, and they don't vote on it. They give you your papers. They don't vote.
Oh, okay.
No. You go down there and apply for the band from the band, and they'll just give you your card.
So I already applied by mail and everything.
Yeah.
They said I qualify.
Yeah.
But they're going to be taking it to a vote.
No, they can't vote it. They don't. They're not allowed to vote you in. All they do is
I'll tell you what. I'll send you a copy of the papers that they sent me.
Yeah, they're not supposed to vote you in. They're supposed to, chiefs and council. They're not supposed to do that. The band doesn't do that. All they do is they accept the fact that you're in, and you just get your card. They'll want you to send them a passport photos, 2 of them, and then they just fill it out. That's it.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you there, and I'll send you a copy of the papers just so that you know what.
Sure. Yeah. No problem.
Okay. Bye for now. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Hey, bye-bye.
Yeah. Let's have a look here. Okay. So I had an area code 365. Somebody's calling me at the same time. So that caller, area code 365, you want to call in, you're more than welcome to now. The lines are open for this whole hour. So like I said, folks, I hope you guys, and those are just coming in the chat room, and those are just listening in right now. Thank you for joining me in the chat room and on YouTube. It's wonderful to see all you guys, you folks here. The reason why I'm here and not on Facebook is because Facebook had me in prison. I guess when I added up all my numbers, they added up for almost 30 days. They were going back in some of my old files or old pictures or whatever, and they were actually saying, okay, we're going to add on this too, and add this too, and add this too. So now they're looking for more dirt on you to keep you from coming back. See what happens, folks, when you got a big mouth? They just don't want you to, what can you say? So you do what you can possibly do the best. And that's all you can do, right? Yeah. So let's see here. What else is there? I got some spirits walking through here. I can feel them in my shoulders. What else we have I wanted to share with you guys? Oh, yes. I had a dream or a vision, I guess, where Jesus came to me and showed me something that I never expected to understand because I'm not Catholic myself, right? And I thought, okay, this is interesting. So he said to me, he says, do you remember where people, the minister, the pastor, they would say their presentation, they'll say, take this wine and this is my blood and drink me. And they'll say, and they'll have people come forward and they'll take this piece of cardboard, bread, whatever, and this is my body. I'm going, yeah. He says, well, that's not me. I never would have done that. That's through the traditional way of satanic worshiping. That's called cannibalism. So, folks, anybody who drinks the wine in the church, or anybody that chews on the piece of dried board, that's called cannibalism. It's not really the truth. It's actually that's the way of cannibalism. That's what they were taught by the priests. So that has nothing to do with Jesus. Area code 365. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Derrick?
Yes.
Hi, this is Heidi.
Hi, Heidi. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm Terry's friend. You talk to Terry all the time.
Okay.
I've got a lot of things happening.
Uh-oh.
I have lots of sounds in my house, especially in my closet, in different closets in my house. Can you tell me what that is?
You got sounds in your closet?
Yeah, banging sounds.
What kind of sounds you're talking about?
They're loud banging sounds, and they're randomly
in
my hall closet, my bedroom closet, and my son's bedroom closet.
Just the closets?
Just the closets.
Really? That's different. Okay.
It is. Sometimes there's like a cracking sound in the house, like in the middle of the night. I can't tell you where it's from.
Yeah, sometimes too they'll say the house is just
energy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've had other people tell me it's old energy.
Yeah.
We've only lived here a year and a half, maybe that.
What area are you living, my dear?
Oshawa, Ontario.
Oh, okay. It's also a haunted location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've lived here, like I said, a year and a half. I've left a 13-year relationship, and my parents had passed away. I've had a lot of stuff to deal with in the last 4 or 5 years, so I don't know if that is all built up to that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you what I see first right now, right? Because the best way of doing it is I'm going to give you what I see.
Okay.
Okay. The only thing I would say that this house must be really old.
It's a townhouse. It's from the 60s, let's say.
Yeah. So there was a child that died in that house, by the way. It's a little boy.
Oh.
So he's the one that's banging in the closet. It's a little boy, I would say about between the ages of 8 and 10, maybe more. Now, when I'm being shown here, I'm shown a graveyard not too far from your house.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, so he may be walking back and forth to your house. Now, the reason why they do the closet part, I don't know why, but I would say that he likes to wander, and like a lot of kids like to play hide and seek. So it's possible that he's doing hide and seeks, and if there's kids in your house, he's probably doing hide and seeks in closets. Because you remember correctly, a lot of little children back then, like a lot of kids for years would say, when they look in the closet and they swear there's somebody actually looking back at them.
They were afraid of closets, right?
Yeah, they're always afraid of closets. So it's very possible that this little boy is in there.
People that lived here, was it their child?
Most likely, yes. Yeah.
Okay, because as far as I know, they're original owners, and then we took the house over from them.
Yeah. Now, it could be a house that was on top of that before that.
Right, the land.
Yeah, it's the land. So it could be in the house on it, and they took that house down and put this house on top of that. But I've been there. Here's what I'm going to describe. I'm going to remote view the area, but I'm being shown from your house to my right of your front house are, I would say, white. I think it's either white pine, but I'm seeing pine trees or white pine, like almost to your right, far right. Do you have a forest in that area? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. That's on your right side. That's where the child is. That's where he died. So he walks in. So he died out in there. So he walks to your house because you have light in the home. That means that you're carrying the energy, you're drawing him in. Okay, so he's looking for someone that he can actually play with. What you can do is get a hold of a ball, something that's light, like a plastic ball sort of thing. Lay it in the living room at nighttime and leave it there. And put it on a location where you'll say, well, look, if you want to play with a ball, leave it right here and let him play. Because by morning, that ball will be moved.
So that will let me know that that's who he is?
That'll let you know if that's him that's moving the ball, because he wants to play. But he's got no one to play with, but he's attracted to you. Nobody else, but he's attracted to you because you're bringing the energy in the house. So he's thinking that you can help him where you want to play with him. And he's also making sure that you hear him or know that he's there. But that's all he can do by using that type of energy.
Okay. Can I help him go over to the other side by doing anything other than that?
Oh, yeah, very much so you can. Yeah, you can actually help him cross over to the light. I would say, but to this boy here, I got a funny feeling he was murdered.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is how, but I would say his passing was between 1930 and 1950. Maybe 1960. Okay. Yeah. But it shows to me that there was somebody with a lead pipe. Like he may have had a father, someone who actually was his guardian, and I can see a long bar hitting him. And then there's he's got the body, bearing the body in the forest. So it's very possible if you do have a 2 sticks or 2 L-shaped rods, and go into the forest and just focus on his energy and see where he may be buried.
We might find his body there?
Yep. Yeah, you might find bones.
Okay.
Or even his clothing. Yeah.
Wow. Another thing, I've had a lot of trying to heal myself from leaving this relationship, and I'm taking my ex to court. Do you see anything happening with that?
What's your ex's first name?
Ray. And Stevens is his last name.
No, I don't need the Stevens. I just need his. I just look at his at his energy and your energy. Yeah, this won't work out between both of you at all. Having to be together.
We're not together. I'm taking him to court. We've been separate for a year and a half.
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at this. I look at your energy, but between both you and him. Now, the only thing is that even though you are wanting to do something to, take him to court, but I'm not seeing you really make an effort to do more than what you should do, because it's almost like you're not willing to listen to him at all, whatever he's trying to tell you. It's like I'm seeing your back turned away from him. So it's almost like your arms are crossed, like, I don't want to hear it. I'm done. So the only way I could see it, that whatever you you may have decided to do, whatever he has done to really hurt your feelings, this is why it's this is good. You guys must have been together for a long time, because it shows me here that you're quite young.
Yeah. No, we were older in life. I'm 54, and I left him a year ago. We were together for 13 years, so we weren't young.
No, you met before.
In our past lives?
No. You met each other before. Before you knew each other, you met before.
How?
They're showing me here that you were with someone. Okay, unless I'm wrong in this part, but it shows me that you're quite young. You want to be with someone. You want to be married. Oh, by the time you were 16 or 18 years of age, like you were looking for that person in your life already.
You know what's really weird that you just said that? My first boyfriend, when I was 14 or 15, texted me today.
That's it. That's the guy.
So what about him?
Or is he still single or not?
I don't know.
Well, I think you need to make. I think you need to talk. You two need
why?
to. Just both you two need to sit down and say how are you doing? Long time no see. That sort of thing. Just for some reason, there's something you never resolved between each other.
Okay, because he said to me today, he goes, "You broke my heart." I go, "I didn't break your heart. You broke up with me, and I never knew why."
Exactly. Do you understand now?
Yeah.
You misunderstood each other. Okay, so that's why.
Are you trying to say you see a future for us?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Because, like I said, that's what makes me go back to time. Like there's someone here that's really young, that you were quite young and you were in love with this person. You really cared for the person. For some reason, everything got cut off just like that. And ever since then, you went like, I'm not happy. And you were always struggling to find the right guy, or find the guy to be happy with, but you never were at all until now. The real true love was when you were quite young, because that was the man that really did love you.
That's what I feel like. I haven't had a man who really understands me.
Exactly, because the only one that would understand you was the first one, was your first love.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt to go out for coffee with them. Just say, let's go have coffee and just check to see, just do it. Just get out there and have fun.
Okay, so I'm going to go in the field that I think is close to me and see what I can find about that young boy.
Yep. Check it out.
Okay. Thank you very much, Derrick.
You're welcome. Take care, my dear.
Take care.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Now let's see here. Okay. Someone said there's an old grave site that a bulldozer went over. Oof. Okay, where is that? Mission. Mission. That's the French, or the old residential school. Yeah, needs to be dug up by Lougheed Highway. Yeah, I've been there. I was in the building. In the gymnasium itself, you can hear children actually playing when there's no kids inside. It's haunted even in the daytime. And a lady friend of mine used to have her little gift shop in that very same building. It became quite the center for people to hang out. Heather Healing Lodge shut down as they were using it for our Aboriginal youth, which was the old nuns' dorms. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, Listolo, we're running that one. It's difficult to. It's really difficult to for people to understand when you're working with First Nations people, different territories. Some are very protective of their territory, protective of the residential center, or they don't want you to know what happened in the past. They will actually. They'll just seal up they'll seal up. We don't want to talk about it. They'll seal it all up, but that's the worst part. When you start hanging on to, if you keep on hanging to the past, you'll never heal. That's what I tell people. If you hang on to the past, you never heal. I strongly feel, I remember a time that, I would say maybe good 3 or 4 times. We used to go in there and we were allowed to paranormal investigate that friendship center, or the residential school a few times. And then one jerk and his paranormal team showed up. The Vancouver paranormal team showed up and said, do not ever let anyone else to walk into this building because there's a curse here. And that was the stupidest thing that this guy ever said, because ever since then, the people that are running the center would never even allow us to come in to investigate, see if there's any kids that are still in existence of haunted, and find out where the rest of the grave sites or children are. So I called a woman up a few years back and I asked her, can you allow us to come down, because I have my team, allow us to come down to investigate the residential school and to see if there's anybody that's still buried out in the locations. And she says, nope, we've done that. They've already been through here, done that. Like, they were so defensive of not wanting us to allow us. No disrespect to them. I love the people, but they should allow us to come in there, because I'm the medium. I'm the one that can help dig up them that are probably not found. I actually did an investigation for the Barkerville area, where supposedly there was 3 Chinese men that got murdered over 150 years ago. And for years, everybody's trying to find out where the bodies were. Nobody could find the bodies. So they called me up and they asked me, Derrick, you come up here and see if you could find the bodies. I did. Not Barkerville. It was actually a town called Cottonwood. I went up there and I said, okay, we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Went out there less than an hour. I said, the bodies are buried right here, right? That's where I was led to. And he goes, are you sure? Well, dig. You've asked me if I'm sure. Yeah, dig. They found the bodies right there, the 3 skeletons. Exactly, I told them where to dig. But how come nobody found them 150 years ago? Because there was nobody like me that can help find them. I'm not saying I'm the only one. There's many people like me that can help you. My job is to help find the missing people that are gone, okay, that are missing. I've done cases for the RCMP. I was part of the Picton case as well, that help find the missing girls. They kept me busy for a while, and I was doing other cases. Heather Thomas, where she went missing up in Maple Ridge. There's quite a few cases I did, and I don't look for credibility, as in money. I go out there because I care. I want to help relieve the pain and the loss of a family member, or someone that actually lost their loved one. I'm trying to bring them home, help them bring them home. That's what the job is to see if they're feeling safe, right? Or feeling, finally, my child is home, or finally so-and-so, and they found her or found him. Mostly hers, but mostly girls. So what I mostly find is girls. But I do my best as much as I possibly can to help people out. And like my wife will say to me, Derrick, you have to stay spiritual. You can't get caught up in all this other garbage. She says, because she thinks that if I talk about all of the opposite other things, like all these, people call them conspiracies, if I talk about that, I'm getting lost in my own spiritual work. No, I'm not. I'm still helping people, letting them know what's going on, be aware of what's going to happen in the future, right? To be aware of what you need to see. There's so much activity in this world right now. People don't realize that so many thousands and millions of children were sacrificed under satanic worshiping. It was going on all over the world. And the people that were the leaders doing this, running all this, were the Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, the Rockefellers, and even more. And then it goes to the royalties, all the royal families. They're all involved. They're all involved in child sacrificing. I mean, if you remember hearing stories that no one's allowed to hunt foxes anymore in England, no, they came up with the idea of hunting children. That's exactly what they did. They found orphaned kids and they're hunting children and shooting them. I'm not kidding. I've got all those facts. So you don't, the thing is, like, I let people know this sort of thing really happened. And this has got to stop. We need to take back our world. We need to take back our country. That's why I'm doing my darndest to help people out. I should be the one that's having insanity. There's so many things that I've seen. I'm going like, oh. But I had to learn to become. And one thing I learned in this work that I had to learn to do, what Spirit taught me. They said, learn to become an observer, but don't get so immersed in it that you feel that you're responsible for it. As in, could I have done something about it? Could I stopped it if I was there sooner? No. Your job is to be the observer, to watch, to see, and to share a message, give people the message, let them know what's going on, and what to expect if it's going to happen in the future, what to look forward to, this is how I understood it. That's why when Spirit came to me as a child, basically I was a newborn knowing my future was going to be this. But I didn't know why. I didn't know where or how. All I could see was spirits. I could see ghosts all my life. There, like, two of my babysitters were ghosts in our house in Winnipeg. My mom, I had told the story before. My mom, the babysitter wasn't there on time. I was being babysat by the ghosts. He wouldn't let me out of the house until the babysitter showed up. And it was my cousin, who was 4 years older than me. That was it, right? But that's okay. The thing is that I had to learn to understand what Spirit's like on the other side, right? And they're just like people, you and I, but I had to learn also to experience evil. I had to witness it. I had to see it with my own eyes. How can I respond back to it? What can I do about it? And I had to fight for the right. I was trying to fight for the right of people so they can speak up for themselves, because those little kids can't speak up for themselves. So I help speak up for them. I have to. When they're taken away from different parts of the world, countries, China, they're not just used for slavery. They're not just, those kids are used for more than that, folks. Sexual acts. Why do you think Walt Disney, why do you think all these other organizations were trying to teach kids sex before they're done being children? They would graphically show the word sex on the screen on all these Walt Disney cartoons. You can see it. Or the number 666 on the even the Walt Disney. If you look at Walt Disney, you saw the signatures. It says 666 on the Y, the Walt Disney. It's all letter 666. I have a friend of mine did the research of Freemasonry in Disney World. Okay, he was there. He went all over the place. He could find every symbol of Freemasonry in Walt Disney or Disneyland or Disney World. It's all Freemasonry. And there's actually an underground tunnel under Disneyland where the children were being sacrificed. And they brought them out. I'm telling you, folks, there's a lot of things happening and you guys may not know it, but you're going to be shown a lot of this in the next few months. It's coming up. Now, before I forget, this month of June, it's very possible we may end up having our 10 days of darkness. Okay, when I'm talking about no power, no electricity, no cable, no internet. Hard to say, but Starlink has already started up. They've already connected in some areas across part of the world. It's a brand new satellite going up. And also look forward to those med beds. They're coming out now. Med beds are being distributed all across the world. They're going to all the hospitals, as many clinics as possible. Those med beds are going to help you. And like they would say, you have a choice, which is, let me get the, I'm breathing wind up my lungs here. And my fan is facing up from under me. You have a choice. You either do alternative medicine or med beds, but there's no longer prescriptions. Prescriptions don't mean nothing no more. You're not going to have a doctor prescribe you a drug that has nothing to do with curing. Nothing. It's going to all get better. Right? So, this is all going to change. And like I said, I always tell people this. We have our Palladians, Arcturians, and Sumerians that are actually helping us make these med beds, or have made them. And so we were given the opportunity to use them and to heal ourselves and to cure, okay? Well, the word C-U-R-E, our bodies in the future. It's going to happen. And begin to look younger, more healthier, no memory losses, no Alzheimer's, no dementia, no cancers. All that's going to be taken care of. Yeah. Well, so your building was just switched from basic cable to free internet. I don't trust this at all. Internet is now slower. Give it a chance. It'll pick up even quicker. So, and whether it's that company or they're just telling you get free internet. But I'll tell you with this right now, once access of everything gets switched over within those 10 days, after the 10 days, you will have always free cable, free telephone, like there's no charges and fees of phoning, or there's not going to be any more taxes, folks. Like all of this is like once, like I said, I tell people this, once Trump is reinaugurated as the 19th president of the new Republic, United States, shit's going to fly. As in the good thing, not the bad way. I'm talking about the good stuff, because when he comes in, like basically, then you're going to be shown the truth, more things out there that you'll never realize. Oh, by the way, if it's Shaw Cable, if you're dealing with, because Shaw actually sold their company to TELUS. TELUS bought them. That's why your cable's moving, your internet's moving slower. If you're talking about Shaw Cable, because Shaw actually sold their company to TELUS. Yeah, so TELUS is taking over, and TELUS is slow. That's why I went to Bell. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, guys. And Shaw was a really good company because everyone was a shareholder. Anybody who was an employee was a shareholder. So you're investing your income as an employee. That's kind of cool. Let's see if this guy's going to reach out to me, or he was more than just friends with him. You're going to have to call me on that one. But I'm going to call my show. Call me on that one. Give me a call. 360-566-2875. I don't do readings on the in the chat room, folks. If you want to phone in, I get make people phone in. Okay. So if the person call yourself Hearts Love Joe, if you want to call in and ask, you're more welcome to. But the phone number is 360-566-2875. And call that number up. Let's see. 36. Oh. Yeah. And that's a Vancouver, Washington number too, by the way. So, and I use that. I've had that number for 21 years. Wow. Yeah, I've had that number for 21 years. And the reason why I use it, because a lot of the Americans, they don't have the long distance set up in their phones to Canada compared to a Canada phone in the United States. So I thought, well, I'll take it easy on you guys. Yeah. So if you want to phone the number, you're more welcome to. See what else is there to talk about and to complete. What else are we bringing up here that I need to say? Kamloops remote. Yes. What I found out too recently, a lot of people are dealing with the arm, the thing in the arm, right? The V in the arm. And people are having side effects. I would say my advice from your side effects, or if you think you have the C, I would say let's go to the side effects first. Number one, what you need to do, folks, is to take a metals cleansing and cleanse your body from the metals. But I do recommend drinking pine tree tea. Okay, pine, like the pine needle tea, not pine tree. You don't drink the pine tree. Pine tea, which basically is the nettles off the pine and the fresh nettles, and you make yourself a tea and you drink that every day, and you'll notice a big difference. Your immune system doesn't go crazy. And you can eat some people like cilantro to get rid of all the aluminum out of their, especially the mercury that leaches in your mouth and your throat. And mercury can be, that's what most people say. If you have memory loss, if you got mercury in your mouth, like say in your fillings, mercury can do damage to your brain. Basically, you end up getting short memories. So, and I've got it in my mouth. I got to get it out too. But also they'll say, here's what they say: if you can handle the cilantro in a salad, you don't have it as bad as others. But if you can't handle the taste of cilantro, it's the mercury response to your teeth that hates it. That means you have an over amount of metals in your mouth. And so the cilantro actually is the cure, actually will work on, if you eat the cilantro as a salad, and you'll start noticing the metals start cleansing out of your system. So this is all natural medicine, folks, right? And I know very well I'm going to get warned about this from Facebook or from YouTube. They're going to say, you can't prescribe. I didn't prescribe. I didn't advise. I'm just telling people this is what I was shown. Okay, I'm showing you what I see. Okay, there is a pill that to get rid of spike. I have no idea what spike pupitines. I have no idea what they're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Your Kudo is also switching to Telus. Good. Area code 803.
Hi, Derrick. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, good. This is Angela from South Carolina.
Hi, Angela from South Carolina.
Hi. Always nervous when I call. This is my second call, but what I was really curious about, there's a couple things. One is I have Graves' disease, so it involves the thyroid, but Graves' disease and thyroid cancer both run in my family, and I was recently diagnosed with having a nodule on my thyroid, but they said it was too small to biopsy. I've had a lot of anxiety worrying about my thyroid lately, and I was curious if the crystals, or you could give me some advice. Am I worrying for nothing, or is it something I should?
Well, here's what I'll say to you, my dear, and I'll highly recommend it for you to do is to go and see an alternative health practitioner. Okay. And or they call naturopath. Go see them and tell them that you're dealing with the thyroid issues. They'll put you on a alternative health healing. Like basically, their thyroid is not as bad as you say it is. So they say it is. Basically, is that sometimes some thyroids, like what the doctors will tell you, if your thyroid has enlarged, it's almost like sounds like it's going to be like cancer, and it's not. Some people have over enlarged thyroid. It's because your metabolism is very, very active, right? So, but if you go to an alternative health practitioner, because basically that's what Trump's going to be telling you, right? Because he's going to be telling everybody, the doctors, all the medical doctors will have to be retrained to go alternative, no more prescriptions. They will eventually will prescribe, but they'll be prescribing you alternative ways, not to use as a painkiller. They're not going to give you band-aids. They're going to give you the C's, the absolute CURES. That's what they're trying to do now. So, this is what's going to happen. But I do recommend to go to a health practitioner, and they will show you what you need to do. Follow up on it. Okay.
Okay.
And you'll feel much better.
One more question, if I can, Derrick.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm 50 years old, and I divorced my ex-husband probably close to 20 years ago. I was having some emotional issues with failed fertility treatments, and I left him for a period of time just to kind of compose myself and get myself back together. And it was very stressful, and the hormone issues of doing so many injections for so long, I just needed some time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I returned home to find out that he had had a brief affair with our neighbor, and I couldn't forgive him for it. And I walked away. I left everything I owned there. I left everything, just basically left with the clothes on my back and didn't look back. And I had been grieving that relationship for the past 20 years. I miss him so terribly. He was my soulmate. We were happy. We were kindred spirits. I've never been more content with anybody in my life, and never been as happy as I was back then.
Who was he with?
I don't know if I could ever forgive him, but I've not been able to speak to him. The few times I've tried to contact him, my neighbor is still with him, and she intercepts all attempts at communication.
So he's still with her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
They're not married.
No. I would say ever since those 20 years, you've carried this burden on your shoulder thinking it was your fault. You need to stop thinking that way, because it's his fault for what he had done. Okay.
Right.
And you need to move on. I mean, 20 years of burden, that's gets to be too far. I can understand if you've been away from him for 5 years, but 20 years, I mean, it's been nowhere. I've met women that will only be with her man once, and they don't want to go to anybody else. If I can't have him, I'm not going to have anybody else. Well, that's ridiculous, because God always said that God always said that you'll always have a partner in life, but you have to be happy. And the only way you're going to be happy is going out there to find other soulmates, because there are more than one soulmate than just one in this life. Okay, most of the times in our lives, we are allowed to have 4 soulmates. Okay, not all at once, but 4 soulmates. So they will be there, and one may remind you from another. One may look like another person that you once already dated before, and he goes, "Oh, you look like so and so." Next thing you know, you're with that person, because you will find the comfort who you want to be with. But what you need to do first, and the reason why you've made yourself having all these thyroid issues, all these sickness and illnesses, because you placed it into yourself, feeling that self-pity, and that's what causes you to build up all these illnesses. So you need to get out.
It's true. I have been absolutely miserable.
So I tell people,
gone to crap.
That's what I tell people, my dear, for you to do is get out of your pity potty, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and start to. I'm not going to use the word grow up, because you already know how to do that, but start taking care of you now. It's called me time. Okay, I'm going to take care of me, and I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to look really nice for myself. I'm going to take care of myself, exercise, take care of myself, and get healthy. And then I'm going to go find that man I've always wanted.
What I'm tormented by, though, is I have dreams. I dream often, and always in the dreams, I'm coming across him, and I'm trying to talk to him, and I'm like, finally, I got an opportunity to speak to you, and then she always pops up. And anyway, it's
because,
anything.
it's because you are still carrying the what if, and is it my fault? Okay, you are carrying the guilt in you, and that's why the dream is repeating itself.
Okay.
So your best bet to do is to forgive the man and move on.
Okay.
Like Keith called in early, and he says, "Get a man with a bus."
I'll try to be more positive and get out there. I just I've been a recluse for so many years, and I just kind of give up on anything social and just kind of wallow in my self-pity at home and stay depressed and, yeah, dealing with a whole bunch of health issues. On that note, I'm having a surgery on Monday, Derrick, for my foot. I'm going to be in a cast for 6 months. Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be okay?
You're the one that has to. You're the one that has to say you will be okay.
Okay, I'll be okay. I'll heal okay.
And
I've been skeptical on having the surgery. They're going to give me cadaver tissue and repair tendons. For one thing, I'm terrified.
Actually, you know what? It's better to have cadaver tissue. I mean, that's the dumb word to use. What it is human bone and skin that is natural compared to having to have metal in there. Okay. So that's natural. They're doing alternatives, helping you with natural healing and not metal. If you had metal inside of you after surgery, you would be suffering later on through the years, because anytime you ever get a rainstorm or about to rain, you would find that ache in the same spot you had the surgery in.
I understand that, but I'm a little bit paranoid in the sense that as far as cadaver tissue, I'm kind of thinking that you don't know what kind of person it came from, and if it was a very negative or evil person, with some of that being the tissue that we put in my body. That sounds crazy.
Well, you know what? Here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to do. Through spirit, they said, always take your best foot forward. Okay. And that let's put it this way, that person who actually was once lived, that they're donating to a part of you, you may end up having dreams about them, because they'll have you'll carry pieces of the cell memory from them. Okay, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. So, I mean, I've seen people actually have had heart transplants, and that person would dream that actually they were married to someone else.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Or they would have the memory of somebody else's life that wasn't theirs. So having a piece of a material, of human material, that's on your body or attached to you, that's nothing, like I tell people, it's better than not having chunk metal.
But that worries me a bit, Derrick.
Well,
now if I face a dream,
I met a lady. I met a lady who had a heart transplant, and she swore that she was married to somebody else. Yeah.
What would be my luck? What if I end up with a piece of a serial killer in me?
No, see, you're looking for the worst.
It could happen.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to wake up in the morning. And smash your box of cereal.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna rest on faith that hopefully it's a good person and I won't have any negative outcome from that. I'm just cringing at a little bit, the thought of it. But
no, just take your best foot forward and trust God.
Okay, we'll do it. All right. Thank you, Derrick.
You're welcome. You take care.
I'm enjoying your shows. I'm enjoying them. I love it. I love the information. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Take care, my dear.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. She loves me. Oh, I love it when people actually really do enjoy this program. I'm never sure whether they are entertained or like what they do, but I mean, I like to entertain the public, and I'm not a negative person, but I like to let the world know what's going on in this world. And myself, I'm actually I'm an entertainer on stage. If you give me a microphone, I'll entertain you. So that's just the way I am. Thank you very much. I'm a beautiful soul of Liverpool. Thank you. I try to do as best I possibly can to let the world know what's going on. And again, help give people messages. That's what my job is. Is to find their peace. And at times, relationships are the hardest. People say, there's many people. I mean, I've been married 3 times. My third wife is who I've been with her for 36 years. My first 2 marriages, the first one was only for 3.5 years. The second one was maybe a year and a half. Then after that, I wasn't trying to leave them. It's just that they just didn't work out. And my first wife left me for someone else. My second wife just didn't work out. We just weren't match made at all. Had a son out of it, but my son sees me as a son of a bitch. So whatever they said on the other side of the family, and I'm not that bad of a guy, but I tried to get to know my son, but so I tried. You know, you can only do so much. And one thing I found out that I learned in this world, if I stayed married, and I told people this, if I stayed married to my second wife and I wasn't with this wife, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I'd probably be somewhere farming or whatever. That's it, right? And the thing is that my first time I was married, I was 19 years old. Okay, 19, and I'm now 64. So my wedding anniversary would have been almost 45 years. Almost 45 years married to someone else, and I'm no. No. My parents, her parents and my parents arranged us, and I didn't care for it too much. So 3.5 years of just having to deal. And the worst part of it is that my best friend messed around with her, and they like, oh, really? But again, you know, what can you do? You do your best to live this world. And I take care of myself. I'm 64, going to be 65 in October, but I'm 64, and I don't feel 64. I feel like in maybe 40s, you know, or maybe 50. But I don't feel at 64 because I feel happy and healthy. That's the thing. If you can feel healthy and happy and keep on going, that's exactly what you need to do. Everyone has to do this, right? And that's why the med beds are coming out, because the med beds are going to even help your genes, not your Levi's or your name brands, but the machine is called the Regeneron. Wait to get into that machine. It's going to change you up big time. Takes all the creases out of your eyes. You're not going to have any thick eyebrows. Your skin tone's different. Your hair won't look orange. I'll tell you why, because Donald Trump was on one of those machines, and he comes back out and his hair didn't look orange anymore. Skin tone was nice and brown. He looked even younger. Like all that was gone. Yeah, he's been on that machine, and it took away 20 years out of him. So when he went in for that's C19, he said, "Well, I was sick, and I need to go on and go to the hospital for those 3 days." Well, those 3 days actually he went on the machine, and he came back and he, here I am. So that's why he looks so good, you know. So and it didn't take money to do it. Like I told people, all your med beds when they come out, they're free. All you do is down the road, they'll say to you, you can sign up and to get on the med bed if you actually deal with any kind of conditions, sicknesses, illnesses, missing a body part, that sort of thing. They have all these different kinds of machines that to be using for health issues. And I got mine. I know what I want to do with this machine. My wife will do what she'll want to do with that machine. Eventually down the road, there'll be smaller versions will be offered to everyone, personal one for your own home. So you get to use it every day in your own home. And someone said they look like a shape of an egg. So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's actually the egg size, or I've seen different different designs of the med beds and different shapes of them. And I've been on one before. The one I was on before back in 2001 or 2002, and I was on the ship myself, so I remember what it looks like. But I was in there, and they took care of me because my body was full of cancer, and I came out and I wasn't sick anymore. So, yeah. Let's see here. Angela says, so happy for you, wife. Long time. Thank you very much. A lot of requesting a lobotomy to remove memories of my ex. Talking about him. You don't want a lobotomy, you know, because there's an old joke. They will say, you don't want a lobotomy, you want to remove it on top of me. So like you don't want them on top of you anymore. Yeah, that's what happens. People will always dream about someone. Fear and common sense kept us together. Yeah. You're afraid to leave your wife, Keith. Maybe it's best we never speak. Infidelity is pretty unforgivable. You know what? Let's put it this way. Don't worry too much about infidelity. is because I don't think he had any infidelity. I think he wasn't trying to keep you with him. I think he was more. I think he was looking over the fence, and he wasn't really willing to stay with you. So that's one thing I was trying to say again for you to do, my dear, is to move on and find somebody else in your life. Okay, guys, I really appreciate it. We're getting close to the top of the hour then, and to let you guys know, yes, my first introduction to the idea of the med bed was from 1997, the original Star Trek series, where Captain Kirk was actually, oh no, that was a different one, because Kirk was actually laying next to this giant piece of clay shaped of a human, and then he spun it around and it looked like two Kirks. And yeah, they can make clones too, by the way. There are other type of beds they use to make clones. So they can actually take your cell, your DNA, and make another clone of you. That's what they do too as well. So, and it does exist. It's been going on for thousands of years. Well, thank you guys for joining me, and we're going to love you and leave you. But I'll see you guys next week. Most likely, I will be doing both YouTube and Facebook at the same time. But I'll still be back here. I like this YouTube more. But again, we'll blend them all in. So you guys take good care of yourselves. And if you want to get a full reading with me, you can always contact me, whiteskycloud@yahoo.com, or you can go to my website, whiteskycloud.com, and for a 1 hour read or half hour read, I charge $130 an hour. But have a look on my stuff, and love to hear from you. And there's always different ways that I can do the readings for you guys to get a full reading. Okay, so take good care of each other, and God bless you guys all.
Is any time brother stop time? Is any time mother stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together.